This is Jim Juback, and welcome to my YouTube video for Friday, March 22nd. Okay, you may notice that behind me, this was my flowers from last week, and these are the flowers I added. These are not the flowers, these are the butterflies I added. It's spring here in Venice, trying to bring a little spring inside. Venice is a city of secret gardens. There's not much in the way of public green space, little gardens or above San Marco, where they held the Biennale, and a few other tiny parks. But most of the gardens are behind houses and courtyards or whatever, and you can get glimpses of cascading mimosa over the wall, or maybe a daffodil or two, but you really can't see them. We've got our own secret garden. It's not ours, but our backyard looks over it, where I see the peaches, the peach blossoms, and the cherry blossoms, and some daffodils, and a huge calico cat that my daughter in Boston calls chompers or chonkers. She says it's huge. It's a big cat. Anyway, so that's what's going on here in Venice. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. That way you get notification when we do our next one. We're trying to do about 3 a week, not always on the same day. If you want, and signing up is free, you just get notification. Doesn't cost you anything, free. If you want more of my free stuff, you can go free posts, 1 or 2 a day, plus 3 portfolios. That's 12 to 18 months, dividends, and then 5 years. And that's on my free site, jubackpicks.com. If you want 6 portfolios, including some ETFs and some really long-term plays beyond 5 years, and some options, you can go to my subscription site. So it's got the 3 portfolios plus 3 others, so 6 portfolios. That site's called jubackam.com. You can see links to those down below. And if you'd like to follow what's going on with my wife and I in Venice, we've moved to Italy for 3 to 5 years, I guess. It's always been a long-term dream. So right now we're in Venice. We're moving to Sicily for the summer. But if you'd like to follow our adventures, we've got a free Substack called We Moved to Italy. And the next Substack post is about Venice's secret gardens with some pictures. So that link is down below too. But today we're going to talk about we're going to talk about Wednesday's Fed meeting and the Thursday reaction to that. And the title for this is basically What Powell Said and What the Market Heard. Now, that's Fed Chair Jerome Powell, tried to walk a very fine line by saying, hey, we've got sticky inflation, but we think it's going to be okay, and we're going to gradually get down to 2%, but we're really not going to move on cutting interest rates until we see evidence that that 2% target rate is achievable. That's what he said. What the market heard, and what's backed up by the Fed's economic projections, the dot plot, what the market heard was, hey, we being the Fed are willing to tolerate higher inflation for longer, and we're still going to cut rates. And if you look at the dot plot, what bears out is that what the Fed said is that they're going to start cutting rates in 2024, probably 2 or 3 cuts this year. This is despite the fact that they think that we're going to end 2024 with core PCE, that's the preferred measure of inflation, Personal Consumption Expenditures Index. Core PCE is going to end the year at 2.6. It's not 2%. It's not marginally better than where we are now. It's certainly not the target that they set, but they're going to start cutting rates anyway, even though we're still going to end the year above that. And then for 2025, what the dot plot said is, hey, we're going to end 2025 still above the target, 2.2%. And we're not going to get to the target until 2026, the end of 2026. So market conclusion, which I think is a perfectly rational one, because from the evidence, is that, hey, the Fed is not going to insist that we be within spitting distance of 2.0% PCE inflation before they start cutting rates. In fact, they're not going to see evidence that we're at 2% until 2026, and we're going to cut rates anyway. I would note that we're talking about a lot of cuts. So we're going from 4.6 at the end of 2024 down to 3.9. So we're seeing a lot of pretty aggressive cutting, even though we're not at target. And what's the market saying? Hey, yay! We're going to get our cuts. We're going to get our cuts. We don't need to worry about inflation. It's not going to get there, but we're okay because the Fed said they're going to cut anyway. So we're getting a rally. We got a rally on Thursday that took the S&P 500 up to its a 20th all-time high in 2024. So happy days are here again. Whatever Jerome Powell said, the market thought this. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, found it useful, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's free. That way you get notification when we do our next one. You can find a link to that down below. You'll also find links to my free investing site, jubakpicks.com. That's got 3 portfolios, 1 or 2 posts a day. Or you can subscribe. That's got 6 portfolios. That includes some options, some ETFs, some really long-term plays. And that's jubakam.com. You can find links to all that down below. And if you'd like to follow my adventures and my move to Italy, you can subscribe to my free Substack. It's We Move to Italy on Substack. And love to have your comments and watch our adventures. And I said the next one is going to be on Secret Gardens in Venice. So talk to you next time. Ciao.